I want to say this. I have to issue a clarification. Sarah of First Access Entertainment.
I thought you meant Sarah Molina.
She's the president or the owner of First Access Entertainment, which is the label that signed Pete.
Yes.
Okay. Remember we had this conversation the other day?
She's not happy with us.
She was not happy. She mailed me like a cease and desist or whatever in my fucking email, basically telling me that, because this is the confusion that I was suffering from, is that there's somebody else who like worked for First Access or whatever that was fucking Peep while they were also managing him.
Well,
it was not her.
It wasn't her. It was the tour manager.
It was someone else, right? Yeah. It wasn't her. But me not knowing how to read, being an idiot, I read the article or whatever, and I oversimplified and made that mistake and said that. So that video has been taken down.
Oh, it did.
She did not have sex with Pete by any sort of. I have no reason to think that. Whatever, their lawsuit is still going and shit. But I just wanted to say that.
This is like your little apology.
Well, kinda. Clip this. Throw this out there. I don't know if anyone cares, but clearly she cared.
Obviously she cared.
Well, she's going to court for this shit, so she definitely should care. And then that's the crazy shit too, is that I have now officially seen 1/2, and Lil House Phone has seen like 1/12 of the Lil Peep documentary. I got this screener copy. It's crazy how fucking high tech this shit is. They got my name right on it. It's really weird to watch a whole documentary that has your name just burned into it.
Burned into the whole thing.
So that's why you can't leak it.
And you said that it's only like it gives you a number of watches.
Yeah, it says you can only watch it however many times. I was watching it up until the moment that we came on here. So
oh my god, I want to be part of your whatever, how many cycles you can watch it.
I think it's only like 1 or 2.
I mean, I can ask them if I could send you the fucking link. I'm sure they'd be down.
Maybe.
You're not asking Sarah, right?
Right. I am not. By the way, there's so much random footage in this thing, and I was kind of like, y'all didn't think to look in the No Jumper vlogs at all. There was so much like random good shit of Pete back in the day, and they didn't put any of it in there. I was a little offended to be written out of history like that. Ooh, I don't give a shit that I wasn't in it. It's whatever. I get it. I'm super controversial. People involved with Pete don't like me. But just to not even have that footage in there, I was kind of bummed out.
Yeah.
Who's like in charge of this? Not First Access, right?
I mean, probably a lot of people.
First Access made this is the crazy part. They made this documentary, and they got Peep's mom interviewed in the, like, it's put out by them, but then she's interviewed in it, even though she's suing them.
I mean, maybe they did it before
the relationship probably soured a little later when she she probably gathered more information and
yeah, I don't even know if the relationship was ever good. I would be interested to know that. I was interested to know if she was ever cool with it, because that's one of the things that I maybe didn't really know when I'm watching the documentary. And there's a few different like storylines that sort of unfold. And one of the things that's interesting is that basically, like, well, I guess I knew this, but Peep had like sort of beef with his management company because they were like I knew this from other people, but it was just weird to hear somebody from First Access, the dude Chase, actually talk about it, where he says, we told Peep, you're our priority. Like, we're trying to blow you up. So to the extent that he was trying to like bring GBC up with them. And like, I knew that there was like a thing where they weren't really like invited on tour with Peep and shit. From the management company, it totally makes sense because they're trying to keep him off drugs. They're trying to keep shit simple and everything. But that was like very much like friction between Peep and his management company. That's kind of like a big theme of it, is that he wanted to just be this like man of the people that could really look after his friends and everything. But then you got the management company trying to treat his career like a business. It's very much like the difference between like the old way of getting hot and like what a career is supposed to be, and the new way where it's like business just sort of interjects itself and changes everything right away.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like it's so many moving parts to that whole story and so much shit that we'll probably never know. And, you know, it's all a crazy story all the way wrapped together, you know?
And it's weird watching the fucking documentary because we knew him at all these different stages and shit. It's most of it is just like a collection of all, like, I guess that's part of the cool shit about it, too.
It's
very
raw too. Like, I'm like, I've only watched fucking 15 minutes of it, and some of the shit in it, I was just like, damn, like I was not even expecting to see any of that already.
But all the footage, like, there's so many people that were just shoving cameras in his faces, social media stuff, random vlogs and everything. And like, because of the way the world is now, it's like they just have access to so much shit of so many different spans in his life, you know?
Dude, I did not realize like obviously we weren't there during all the Russia shit,
Right.
but just watching this little segment of how crazy it was, like they were fucking waiting on him as soon as he got off the plane, like in Russia, with like I love Lil Peep signs, and
Yeah.
it was
That's
like
crazy.
He had
I
like
didn't know it
100
was
girls
that-
waiting for him. Maybe not 100, maybe
That's
like
what
50
they do for, like,
It was
K-pop
probably
stars.
at the fucking airport. Nobody does that. Nobody
How
waits
the
at the
fuck-
They
airport.
do that
How the
at K-pop stars.
how do you
stuff.
find when they're gonna land, what flight they're on?
Honestly, I feel like what they do is they see when his show is, just fucking.
There's only so
camp
many
out at the
flights that
airport.
could be
There's only
coming
so
from
many
LA.
flights
Coming from LA, yeah.
Somebody calls and says, my friend blank or whatever is like flying out. I need to know the flight information. I'm sure there's all kinds of ways to get that
Yeah.
shit.
I don't think they could give you your information by just calling.
Yeah,
and say you're
and the fact that they
friend.
were in the airport at the gate, like it was like nigga, he got out of the plane and they were right there.
Peep is probably sitting there on his Instagram story as the flight's leaving or some shit. So it's like for the kids who really give a shit, they
Yeah.
probably there's only one airport that he could realistically be probably going to.
Yeah,
There's only
that's
so many flights coming in. They probably just these crazy ass kids are not
Did he
against
pop
waiting for
off
10
in
hours in the
Russia
airport.
before, like
I
kind
don't
of.
think it was
Kinda. But he
don't
was
know
like
if it
one of
was
them
before.
dudes
They
like
love that
like
kind of
Knight Lavelle and like even
Yeah.
Bones and Xavier and all them. I mean, they
Dark
sort of
stuff.
like the dark shit sort of like
Yeah.
catches on in Russia before it catches on here.
Kind of crazy, and he's Russian, right?
Is he?
Or-
I don't
With a
know
name
about
like
that.
Gus. Gustavo. Gustav.
He's some sort of Eastern European, no?
Now is
know.
not the time to guess at his
Anyways.
ethnicity,
I
Kim.
have no idea.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Stop tapping your foot. Jesus Christ, I
It
got
wasn't
that
me.
shit.
That was
Who's doing that?
Not me.
Fucking. Oh yeah, I did a party with Ghostface.
You said what?
I did a party with
I
Ghostface.
thought you said
Oh
Ghost
my god, I
Man.
thought you said Ghost Man too.
Who's more relevant right now, Ghostface or Ghost Man?
It's like all the
They're
Ghostface
so-
fans don't even know who Ghostman is, and
And
all the
vice
Ghostman
versa.
fans maybe know who Wu Tang is, but I don't
Not
know.
Ghostface.
I don't think
think
they got
it's
Ghostface
two
on their
completely
Spotify.
different. It's like apples and oranges.
Yeah, it's like crazy that those are even considered the same type of music in some
not at
weird
all.
way. You don't think?
Well, not at all.
I feel like if Ghostface heard Ghostman, he would be like, "That's rap."
What if they did a tour together? The Ghost
The
tour.
Ghost tour, Casper tour.
I mean, but who is there any synergy there? Like, is anyone?
Not at all. But let's
Yeah.
go. Let's
That's
do
like
it.
us trying
Let's
to
set it
put
up.
Lil Tracy and Hoodrich Pablo Juan on a tour together.
You want
That might work out.
You want to know something that I know that I don't even know if I should be saying this, but I'm just gonna wild out and say
Oh
it. So
my
when we're
God.
hanging out with Ghostface, I started trying to ask him about the Wu-Tang show because I only seen one episode of it, but I started trying
It's
to
like
talk to
on
him about.
Netflix or something.
He
right?
said he ain't even seen it.
Wow.
They make a fucking TV show about him, and he don't even care enough to watch it.
I mean,
I forget where I heard it, but they were talking about how RZA would
Yeah.
just have them do songs and then they wouldn't even hear it until it comes out.
Wow,
Like on an album.
he's supposed to do that. The producer's supposed to produce, and then it's like if you've got 9 verses, it's like you got to start making fucking big
Yeah.
choices. But I mean, that was just kind of crazy to me that he didn't actually like taking the time to see it. Like a bunch of the Wu members were, like involved in it. I wonder if he in any way feels like it's kind of weird that he wasn't involved in it because he didn't say anything. Like you could tell that he didn't want to like.
Yeah.
Drop any like wild opinions or anything, and it was crazy though because I'm just sitting there like we're around a bunch of his friends and shit, and I'm just talking loosely as I fucking always do about what I thought of the fucking Wu-Tang thing, and I'm pointing out like it's kind of weird because they don't use any of the music in the documentary or in the episodes, but then at the very end, the outro they'll use a real Wu-Tang song. This is from the one episode I saw, but like then like it's like this fantasy world based on the Wu-Tang universe, and one of the dudes who was there started to get offended by me saying this, and like he was just like, man, like RZA knows what he's doing. Like RZA knows what he's doing. Like you can't question RZA. I'm like,
okay.
I'm not questioning him. I'm just talking about the show. I'm like, this is. I'm like I'm being super respectful, basically the way I was talking about, and I just
You
remember.
just said you were wilding out, but now you're saying you're being.
He's wilding out respectfully.
it's
You're
like
talking loosely, respectfully.
wilding out in the sense that I was just saying whatever the fuck I wanted, even though I was around a bunch of like hip hop legends at that moment. But it's like I'm sort of also just assuming that everybody's gonna sort of like
Kind of ask him about that.
you can question anything. It's like, I mean, yeah, Riz is one of the greatest hip hop producers of all time, but he's made a whole bunch of songs that didn't go anywhere. It's like he's made weird albums that nobody fucking talked that much about. I love Riz more than anything, but I mean, you can talk about the show, and I don't think RZA would get offended.
You don't know that nigga.
I do. I met him at the same party where Kim tried to grab me while I was peeing,
I'm rolling my eyes.
and that's what I said. I said I just interviewed Ghostface, so now you should let me interview you. And Laura says she's working on it.
So how was this party?
What party? Oh, that party was cool. It wasn't. It was just sort of like this art gallery thing. It was weird as fuck. Cause dude, I'm like 3 blocks away from my old apartment that I lived in Brooklyn, and I'm in this gallery space doing this party with Ghostface.
Remember when we tried to do Jules Santana party?
That was Jim Jones.
Jim Jones.
Yes.
Where in New York?
Whatever, 2 J's.
No, yeah, it was like we were supposed to do a Jim Jones show. Yeah, the cops hate Jim Jones.
When was this? Because
this was on that Jeffrey and whatever tour.
Because he's a member of the 9 Trey Bloods.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I mean, I guess the cops probably knew that way before we knew that.
They're probably working on that since before then.
Stop tapping your hands. What should we talk about?
I want to talk about
Playboy Cardi album still didn't come out.
How do you feel about that? You upset?
Still.
When was it supposed to come out? Last Friday?
And they just keep dropping hints, and this keeps supposed to being out. It's like everything.
What are these hints?
Okay, it wasn't a real. Okay, this was the hint. So it was just a picture with cryptic Playboy Cardi messaging that just said "Red incoming," which is a whole lot of red. Name of the album.
Right.
And then it said something about 2 days, but it meant. But then Iggy Azalea confirmed on Twitter that he didn't mean.
That's his rollout?
No.
Oh.
Iggy Azalea confirmed that he didn't mean that the album was dropping in 2 days, that he had been locked in the studio working on it.
What is that? Why is Playboy Cardi having Iggy Azalea do his fucking PR?
Because he never, like, if you go back, even when his first album came out, Gunnar Stahl tweeted it. He never tweeted his own fucking album link. Like, I don't know. He's very mysterious like that on his online presence.
What a dickhead. I can't even wrap my head around that.
love
Tweet your fucking album, man.
No. I think this is he's the only exception for the rule of like less is more with him.
Listen, I've been thinking about it for my entire life. More is more. Promote your fucking album, Cardi. Nah, that's all right. I mean, I get it that that's his thing. That he's like trying to be all rare and shit, but I just don't.
He has like 3 Instagram posts for the last 2 years.
What's the point of having these followers if you ain't gonna fucking hype that shit out? I guess
milk the fuck
he
out of him?
is the one rare one. What up, Khalil? He's the one rare one that maybe doesn't need the promo, but I'm still like,
He doesn't
get the promo.
Those 3 pictures, it's not like new ones updated and then archive shit.
Well, no, I'm saying like the last picture was the one that was like red incoming 2 days, like and it was like it was.
I did see a lot of memes on Twitter of people angry that
what
didn't
is
come
whole lot of red supposed to mean? Isn't red like?
If he's a big blood, nigga. He's the biggest blood. Stop playing.
Or red.
No, I don't
red,
know.
No, but it's a lean thing, isn't it? But isn't red? People don't exactly prize red. They're not excited about red.
I don't think it's a lean thing at all.
Okay.
The old school dudes used to throw red out.
Do you remember like early SoundCloud Playboy Cardi when like he would like drop songs and it just had like a bright red picture instead of like a
no. Okay. But also I do remember I remember old school Cardi that used to fuck your bitches.
I used to fuck my specifically my bitches.
Right? Wasn't that a thing?
Maybe.
You
know.
I don't know.
But anyway.
Is that when he stole your girl at a show? At the observatory?
Almost.
We're not going to tell that fucking story again. We tell that story so many times. Man, you guys don't even know that I am about to start a new weekly podcast with somebody, and you guys have no idea. And the reason why I have no idea is because we didn't start talking about it until like 2 hours ago. But somebody asked me.
Playboy Cardi asked you to be on a weekly podcast.
Could you imagine him even being on like a podcast and like really holding down a conversation for an hour talking about anything
Has he ever
besides
done interviews?
He has done stuff, but I mean, I saw him get interviewed by Rosenberg.
When? Recently?
That was at least a year ago. He didn't say shit. It was fucking weird. It made me like, wow, like I don't want to do an interview like that. Like that's not fun.
When's the Bones interview coming?
Ask Nardwar. Nardwar did it.
That was fire.
We missed the window. I mean, like back then, I should have pushed for Bones to do the interview. I never really stressed it that much. I wasn't at that time in particular. I was not in the mind state of I'm gonna push to get these fucking interviews because now, knowing what I know now, I realize what it is. You get a publicist and you put them to fucking work trying to get those interviews. Back then, I was just letting shit happen.
Yeah.
You can't just let it happen. I would have got way better interviews back then if I was smart enough to have a publicist.
You live and you learn.
Were you even at that stage where you needed a publicist yet?
Yes, because when I think about it, somebody like Cardi, I probably could have got that interview if I had somebody who was professional and following up.
Instead of just being like,
you know, me trying to get a Cardi interview. This is me trying to talk to him back in the day. Like put my fucking head up to his ear in a packed show, and I was like, "Oh, you should do an interview." And he said, "I'll do an interview. I'm just not trying to do a long interview." He said, "I'll like do 20 minutes or some shit." But you know, how much am I really following up when you don't have a publicist? You're basically just like trying to contact people yourself. It's a fucking nightmare.
I think that
just hit
people
niggas'
found
DMs.
some sort of like genuineness in that, or like, what's the word?
Yeah, and that's fucking great for him, but it sucks for me.
No, I'm saying for you, for No Jumper, it was like some kind of like
Listen,
organic shit.
If I
But
got a
now
Cardi
you're
interview at
now
that
you're
time,
the
at that time, shit would have been huge. It would have been one of the biggest interviews I ever got. Yeah, it's cool that I was just getting interviews with people I just ran into, but you can run into people and also have a publicist who's trying to make these things happen for you. Like, but I'm reading Howard Stern's new book. Holy shit, his relationship with his publicist is crazy. Like they're asking like big celebrities like 10, 20 times before they finally say yes.
Yeah, 100%.
You got to keep
have to keep
reminding them
asking.
you exist, you know?
Yeah, a publicist's job is pretty much just poking someone until they say yes.
It's like, hey,
So
hey.
real.
And
Would you interview?
even if they say no, you have to keep asking.
Yeah,
Yep.
over
Yeah.
and over and over.